If you tuned into the last video, I shot some raw footage and tried to give it a look. Today, I'll be enhancing that footage with seasonal colors. First off, I'll be editing in Adobe Premiere, and I decided it a little bit crazy but necessary for the sake of this video that I make a project file for each season, autumn, spring, summer, winter, as well as a fifth project where all the footage will be flat so you can see what we started out with, or so you can see what the flat image looks like versus the final image. I'm not sure I'll use all 5 of these project files, but it'll be nice to have them. My intention was to make these colors more like autumn, which would mean more autumn colors, like a little bit of red in the footage. Now on top of that, I want to make the footage look amazing as well as look like autumn, and adding the right amount of contrast to do it. One of the clearest attributes of this curve to me is that when the red is above the Luma curve in the mids and darks, this is what gives the autumn look because it brings the reds out of the light and dark shadows, which gives a feeling of festivities such as Thanksgiving. Next thing you'll need to know is how to copy-paste these attributes to other clips. You have to copy-paste the red source settings in the Master tab under the Effects control. This is where Premiere secretly keeps all their metadata. It's this easy, copy-paste, bam, that looks amazing. I made little changes to other clips, but no matter what, the reds were always strong in the light and dark shadows. Now here's all the final footage with the applied color setting. On this scene, I'm going to make it look like summer. The first rule of the curves is that if you want to keep it simple, you can make the scene less contrasty just with the Luma curve. Give it a belly, pointed up. This makes everything in the middle of the light spectrum bloom and gives a closeness to everything that is dark and everything that is bright. Explaining this curve is a little more complicated, but I think the most important aspects were to keep the blue curve least strongest. Doing this allows for the yellowish colors to complement the skin palette. Red and Luma was high for brightness and warmth. Dipping the green in the very dark areas may not seem like much, but it is used to clear any shadows of green pollution. For Finding Winter, I brought all of the lines together to give a very cold feeling. Nothing was hugely dominant, but blue was strong in both the shadows and the highlights for gloom, but dropped under red and white in the mids, so there was still some blooming going on in the skin tones. Otherwise, the skin wouldn't pop quite so much. Also, it was important to keep green fairly neutral. Red, blue, and Luma can be adjusted pretty dramatically at times without major change, but green is always a very sensitive color. One wrong way or another and your footage will either be really green or really pinkish purple. But I think part of maintaining a cold feeling is that the color range is not very huge. Our curves are very constricted. It's like the cold, restricted feeling of being at a winter park. When I pasted the same attributes to this clip, the whites blew out. We can fix that without too much work. Since the colors are probably right, let's see if we can adjust the Luma to get it where we want it. This looks like it was an exposure issue, meaning the exposure was probably different between the clip we just graded and this one. We can bring down the Luma while still giving some contrast, and bring down the reds as well to give a little more color to the skin. That wasn't too painful and still looks like a winter day.